Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're doing a new reading. Who's your spouse, husband or wife? If you're already married, then let's find out if my reading is accurate. And if you haven't met your spouse yet, then let's keep watching. In front of you there are 4 different colors, so please pick one or more with your intuition. And if you need more time to decide, then pause this video. Let's begin. Hi group 1, if you chose orange color, then let's find out who your spouse is, husband or wife. So before we get into the reading, I've already done your spread. So the energy coming through your spouse is strong, grounded and focused on long-term success. This is someone who's extremely driven when it comes to their career and financial stability. They think a lot about the future and money. They're not the type who lives only in the moment or spends money impulsively. Instead, they are always planning ahead, thinking about investments, savings, security, and building something that will last. This is someone emotionally connected to the idea of stability, guys. For them, money isn't just about luxury or showing off. It represents safety, freedom, and the ability to take care of the people they love. They may often think about questions like, how can I create a better life 5 years from now? How can I make sure my family is secure? So their mindset is very future-oriented, okay? They could have leadership qualities. They may be the type of person who naturally takes charge in situations. For example, in a workplace setting, they might quickly move into management positions, or people may naturally look to them for guidance, for advice, even if they started working for someone else when they're younger. I feel that eventually they might want to create something of their own. This could mean starting a business, running a family business, or becoming an entrepreneur. The energy around entrepreneurship is actually very strong here, guys. It feels like this person who doesn't necessarily want to stay in a traditional 9-to-5 job forever. Of course, early in life, they might work under someone else to gain experience, but later they might reach a point where they decide to build something themselves, because I feel that they want to have financial freedom and independence. For example, they might leave a corporate job to start their own company, or invest in projects that they may control, And I don't see this person struggling financially for long periods of time, because the energy here shows long-term security and financial growth. And this suggests that someone who is responsible with money and understands how to build wealth over time. And in fact, there is also a strong indication of generational wealth or legacy energy here. And this could mean a few different things. One, your spouse could come from a family that already has a business or established financial background. Another one would be that they themselves create wealth that later benefits the entire family, like start everything from scratch. For example, they might build a successful business that is eventually passed down to children or grandchildren. There's also the possibility that when the two of you come together, you create wealth as a team. You might run a family business together or build financial stability through shared investments and long-term planning. And for some reason, I just feel power couple energy here, meaning that both of you could support each other's ambitions and goals. Something that stands out about this person is their work ethic, guys. Like, this person is extremely hardworking. They could almost be described as a workhorse, someone who puts in the effort necessary to achieve their goals. They're not afraid of responsibility. In fact, responsibility motivates them. They want to make sure that their family is taken care of. So even if you also work or have your own career, they will likely feel a strong sense of responsibility to provide and create security for their household. And because of this, you might rarely feel anxious about financial matters when you are with them. They will take care of everything for you. They tend to think ahead and prepare for the future. However, this person also has a very straightforward personality here. They don't enjoy unnecessary drama or confusion. They like clarity and honesty. You could say that they very black and white type of person. For example, if there's a problem in the relationship or business situation, they won't avoid it or pretend everything is fine. Instead, they want to address it directly and find a solution. And I feel that this is someone who believes strongly in fairness and justice. They like things to be balanced and ethical. And if they see something that feels wrong or unfair, they will speak up about it. And this makes them someone who others respect because they stand by their principles. And another interesting quality about this person is that they actually enjoy solving problems, like situations that might feel overwhelming or stressful for other people can feel like a challenge to them. They might think, okay, this is difficult, but how can I figure it out? And this mindset helps them grow and succeed over time. And I feel that even though they focus heavily on career and financial planning, they're not someone who neglects family. They quite family oriented. They want to create a stable and comfortable environment for their loved ones. And when they make decisions, they often think about how those decisions will affect their family in the long run. So if they were offered a new job opportunity, they wouldn't just think about the salary. They might also consider whether the location is good for the family life, whether the schedule allows time at home, or whether it creates long-term stability. And I feel there is a strong ambition here. Like this person is ambitious. They want to achieve something meaningful in life. Success, recognition, financial abundance are important to them. Not necessarily because they want status, but because they want to build a secure and fulfilling life. Astrologically, they could be a Capricorn sun or rising, or they could have a strong Capricorn placement in their birth chart, which means that they are disciplined, practical, and business minded. And they very mature, guys. This person may appear older than their actual age, either physically or in the way they think. Sometimes people rather may say things like, oh, you're very mature for your age. Because of this maturity, there could also be an age gap in your relationship, okay? For some of you, your spouse may be older than you, possibly 5 years or more. But even if they're not significantly older, they carry themselves with the wisdom and seriousness of someone who has lived a lot of life, okay? They carry a lot of wisdom. And I feel that they quite serious or reserved, okay? They might not immediately open up emotionally. You could initially feel like they are a little difficult to read. Their facial expression or body language may seem calm, controlled, or slightly distant. However, once you actually get to know them, you will likely discover a very warm and kind person underneath that serious exterior. They can be friendly, supportive, and surprisingly open-minded. And they're not judgmental, okay? They're willing to listen to different perspectives and try new ideas. So if you suggest something creative or unconventional, they might be curious about it rather than dismissive. And another thing that stands out is their communication skills, guys. This person is good at speaking, explaining ideas, or convincing others. They could be very effective in roles that require leadership, negotiation, or presentation. For example, they might excel in business meetings, management positions, or something which they have to guide a team. They also seem to be someone who enjoys building things, whether that's building a team, building a project, or building a long-term plan. They might constantly have ideas in their mind about how to improve their work or expand their goals. And their mind might be very active, okay, when it comes to work. They might think a lot about strategy, opportunities, money, future plans. Another message coming through is that this person might be an animal lover, guys. I'm getting a strong image of pets like a dog around them, so they may already have a pet, a dog, a cat, or they might simply love animals in general. It's also possible that the two of you will share that interest, so you might adopt a pet together later in the relationship. Dog represents loyalty, so loyalty is definitely a strong trait for this person. When they commit to someone, they take that commitment seriously, so they quite dependable, supportive and protective, they also have a creative side that might surprise people. Even though they are very logical and business oriented, they could enjoy creative hobbies like designing, building ideas, music, writing, or creative problem solving. And one thing to keep in mind that they might occasionally appear a little strict or serious, okay? So they focus on goals and responsibilities, can make them seem emotionally distant. But this doesn't mean that they don't care. In fact, the way that showing love is often through actions like providing support, solving problems, and making sure that you feel secure. And they will take a good care of you emotionally or financially, and they will likely be someone who supports you during difficult times, helps you achieve your goals, and works alongside you to build a stable life. So I see number 1, 19, 10, 22, 12. So these numbers could appear in different ways, like they could be a part of their birth date or favorite numbers, or you could see an angel number. And in terms of timing, some of you may meet this person within 10 weeks or 10 months from now. For others, the connection might become significant around that time frame. And I feel that some of you might marry a little later in life. This could happen around your Saturn return or sometime in your early 30s or after 30s. But this timing actually works well with the energy of this relationship, guys, because both of you might focus on building your lives first before fully committing, And when you finally come together, the relationship feels stable, supportive, and powerful. So the two of you might truly feel like a team, like working together, supporting each other's ambitions, and creating a life that is both emotionally fulfilling and financially secure. So overall, guys, the energy of your future spouse is someone who's ambitious, loyal, intelligent, and protective. So they may appear serious at first, but underneath that calm exterior is someone who deeply cares about building a strong and lasting life with the person they love, okay? So that's all I have for you. So now let's get your zodiac signs. So they could be an Aries, Sagittarius, Cancer, Libra, Pisces, Gemini, or Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. So that's all I have for you. If the reading resonated with you, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more readings. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hi group 2, if you chose green color, then let's find out who your husband or wife is if you haven't met them yet. So before we get into the reading, I had already pulled your spread. So the energy that came through your spouse is quite interesting. So there is someone who lives a very active and busy lifestyle. This is not the type of person who likes sitting at home all day. They constantly on the go. So this could be someone who loves traveling frequently, enjoys outdoor activities like hiking, surfing, cycling, camping, or playing sports or working out regularly. They could be into gym or spending a lot of time in nature, This could be the type of person who wakes up early on the weekend and says, oh, let's go for a sunrise hike, or someone who plans spontaneous road trips or weekend getaways. And they feel peace and joy when they're outside, because being outdoors really recharges their energy. Another strong message is that this person loves talking to people, guys. They're quite social and well-connected person. They're good at forming connections. I'm seeing a lot of people around them in the car. So they could have a large friend group or be well known in the community or industry, or they could work in the field where they interact with many people. And for some of you, this person could even become very successful or widely recognized in their career. That doesn't necessarily mean they are a celebrity, but they might be someone who gets attention for their talents or achievements, For example, they could be a successful entrepreneur or a coach or public speaker, a leader, a manager, someone who leads a team or an organization, or a creative person whose work reaches a large audience, So people naturally gravitate toward them. And I feel that one of the strongest energies in your spread is that meeting this person would bring a lot of positive changes into your life. It feels like they have a kind of lucky charm energy. So wherever they go, opportunities and abundance seem to follow. For example, if you're struggling with work or juggling multiple jobs, meeting them could inspire or help you move toward a better career. Or if you've been financially stressed, things may start improving after you meet them. Or you may gain new opportunities through their connections or support, It's not that they fix your life, but their presence seems to elevate your circumstances. Kind of like they bring luck into your life. And another thing you need to know that they quite confident. They know who they are and what they bring to the table. They're not arrogant, but they are secure in themselves. There is someone talented, so whatever they put their energy into tends to succeed, okay? It's almost like everything they touch into gold. They have the Midas touch. And this could be someone who understands business, building wealth, investments, and creative opportunities. So they have a natural ability to attract money and abundance. So what I like about this energy is that they're not selfish with it. Instead, they're generous and family-oriented. So your spouse appears to be generous with their time and resources. They don't just work hard to make money for themselves. They also want to support their loved ones. So they might help family members financially or invest in opportunities that benefit their people around them. Or they would be the type who always pays for dinner or helps friends when they're struggling, And they believe in building a legacy, not just personal success, but also for generations to come. Another interesting message is that this person is quite spiritual, guys. They may also be religious. They may often go to church, attend temple, practice meditation or prayer, or study spiritual philosophies or psychology. They strongly believe that the universe or a higher power has a plan for them. And because of this faith, they don't try to control everything in life. Instead, they trust that things will work out in the right timing, and this gives them a calm confidence. So on the outside, this person may appear very strong and masculine, almost like an alpha personality, but internally they actually quite balanced, guys. They carry both masculine energy and feminine one, and this means that they're not emotionally closed off. They understand feelings and relationships deeply. Even though they know a lot of people, this person is quite selective about who they let into their inner circle. They may be friendly and easy to talk to, but they don't rush into relationships, okay? They value quality over quantity, guys. For example, they might have hundreds of acquaintances, but only a few people they truly trust. And when they choose you, it's because they see something real and meaningful here, okay? I see a simple lion, kind of like a lion, tiger animal. So this person may have a lion tattoo, or they love lion imagery, or they could be a Leo sun rising, or they simply embody that lion-like energy, really positive, outspoken, and confident, They could be brave, protective, and courageous, and when they love someone, they will protect them fiercely, okay? And I feel that you meet this person outside of your usual environment, possibly places like when you're traveling, or at a public event or festival, at a social gathering, outdoor activity, or through mutual friends. Or you could meet them at a beach event, group trip, friends party, because there's a lot of movement and social energy here. I see number 9, 23, 11, 12, and 21. So these numbers could relate to their birth dates or your birthdays, or their lucky numbers, favorite numbers, or the meaningful timing. September may also be significant, so you could meet them in September or marry in September, or you could meet this person about 9 weeks, 9 months, or during September. And this person may come from a different background than you. This could mean a different culture, country, religion, or a different lifestyle. For example, you might meet them while traveling abroad, or they could be someone who moved to your country, and this connection may expand your worldview, okay? And when you meet this person, it may feel like instant recognition, not just love at first sight, but something like I feel like I've known you forever, like when you look at them, you've known them forever. Like you quickly realize that you share similar values, life goals, passions, hobbies. So this connection will feel natural and effortless. And interestingly, some of you may be quite different from this person. So for example, they may be very outgoing while you're more shy. They might have strong masculine energy while you carry nurturing motherly energy. They may be extrovert while you introvert, but instead of causing conflicts, these differences actually balance each other perfectly. You may hear that opposites attract. And another powerful message is that some of you may meet this person right after closing an important chapter in your life. What I mean by that is that some of you might leave a job and start a new career, and then you meet them. Or you might move to a new city, country, or end a past relationship, or complete a big transformation, and then boom, you meet this person. It's like the moment you release something old, this new person enters your life, almost like a domino effect, So if you're single, you haven't met your spouse yet, don't lose hope. Some of you currently be in the hermit phase. This could feel like no romantic opportunities, a quiet period in your love life, feeling like nothing good is happening. But this energy doesn't last forever, guys, because your reading shows that things could change very suddenly. So one moment it feels extremely quiet, and then boom, out of nowhere you meet someone who shifts everything, So guys, your spouse appears to be someone who's active and adventurous, social and charismatic, successful and financially smart, but generous and protective, and spiritual and emotionally balanced as well. But more than anything, is someone who's constantly searching for deeper meaning in life. So they not only focus on money or success, they also care about questions like, what makes people truly happy? What creates a meaningful life? Or how can we grow and evolve as human beings, They are a lifelong learner, always exploring life, purpose, and growth. And I feel that when you come together, it feels like the two of you will build a life that is both successful and deeply fulfilling. So group 2, this is your reading. So now let's get your zodiac signs. So they could be a Scorpio, Capricorn, Cancer, Pisces, Libra, Taurus, or Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. So that's all I have for you. If the reading resonated with you, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more readings. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hi group 3, if you chose purple, then let's find out who your spouse is, husband or wife. So before we begin the reading, I've already laid out your spread. So what immediately stood out about your person is their peaceful and harmonious nature. So this is someone who naturally moves through life with balance and calmness, okay? So when things don't go their way, they're not the type to react dramatically. So they don't yell, curse, or lash out at people. Instead, they tend to pause, stay quiet for a moment, and process things internally. So they have a lot of self-control and emotional maturity. So imagine something stressful happening at work, maybe a project fails, or someone criticizes them unfairly. While other people might argue or complain, this person would likely take a deep breath, reflect on the situation, and calmly figure out how to improve it next time, because they prefer peace over conflict. So this is a very calm and gentle soul, guys. You won't often see them overreact or create unnecessary drama. And even if they've gone through difficult things in the past, they still choose to stay positive, So they tend to carry a warm smile, and people around them often notice that energy. And this person has the kind of mindset where when life knocks them down, they don't stay defeated. Instead, they get back up and try again until they're successful, and they believe persistence leads to success, okay? So if they experience a setback in their career, finance, or disappointment in the relationship, they may take some time to heal, but they always rise again stronger and wiser. Another thing that stands out is how they may appear a little mysterious when you first meet them. At first, they might seem quiet or reserved, and they naturally more introverted, and they don't open up to everyone immediately. Like you don't really know them unless you very close, okay? And this isn't because they cold or unfriendly. It's simply because they value privacy and trust, and they tend to keep many things to themselves. And you rarely see them cry, okay? They don't overshare personal details unless they feel safe with someone. So usually only their closest friends or family members, partner know their deeper thoughts or secrets, okay? It can be a little difficult to enter this person's inner circle, so they are quite selective about who they trust. But once you earn their trust and become part of their life, they are incredibly loyal, guys. So the friendships they form tend to last for many years, sometimes even a lifetime, okay? For example, they might have one or two very close friends they've known for a long time rather than a large social circle, but those relationships are deep and meaningful. This person is actually very loving, romantic, and caring. No matter their gender, they have a romantic soul. They believe in true love, and when they love someone, they love deeply. They may be the type who remembers meaningful dates, birthdays, anniversary, or writes thoughtful messages for birthdays, or does small acts of kindness to show affection, to show that they care, So they might surprise their partner with a favorite meal after a long day, or send a sweet message just to say that they're thinking about you. However, because of their sensitive and loving nature, I do feel that at some point in their life, they experience heartbreak or disappointment. Someone may have hurt them deeply before. They may have gone through some difficult relationships, not just only romantic ones, but also challenges with friendships or family dynamics, So there may have been times when people treated them badly or unfairly, or took advantage of their kindness, loyalty. They may have been the kind of person who's always helped others, only to realize that some people didn't appreciate their efforts and walked all over them, And some people may have stepped on their kindness or misunderstood their intentions. Despite all of that, they never lost their belief in love, okay? Actually, they believe in true love, guys. Deep inside, they still believe that true love exists, that someone special out there for them. They still believe in meaningful connection and long-term commitment. They're quite traditional and they're quite old school, okay? And this person is very much a one-person type of partner. When they choose someone, they choose them seriously. They're not someone who easily jumps from one relationship to another. Even after they break up with someone, it takes a while for them to heal, and and they may get back to the dating scene after a long period of time. So if they decide you are the person they want to spend their life with, they will be incredibly loyal and devoted. They may be the type who stays faithful and stands by their partner through ups and downs. However, even though they are gentle and romantic, I feel that they can also be strong-willed and stubborn. Once they make a decision, it can be difficult to change their mind. So they may have their own way of thinking and strong personal values, okay? So while they're nurturing and caring, they also have a firm sense of who they are. And I feel that this person has worked very hard to become who they are today, and their path wasn't easy. There were a lot of struggles, sacrifices, and emotional challenges along the way, and they may have had to walk away from certain relationships, people, or environments that were not healthy for them, whether in friendships, family situations, or even workplaces. But those experiences helped shape their wisdom and compassion. But here's something interesting coming through in the cards, guys. So for many of you, there's a strong possibility that this relationship begins as a friendship, okay? Because this person takes trust very seriously. They often prefer to build a strong emotional connection first before becoming romantic or physical. So your connection may start in a very natural way, like talking, sharing stories, laughing, or getting to know each other slowly, and over time those feelings deepen. Some of you may meet through mutual friends, a social gathering, or someone introducing you, and at first you might just chat casually, maybe message occasionally, or spend time in a group setting. Then gradually you both realize that there's a deeper connection forming. And in some cases, this person could even be someone you already know, maybe someone within your friends group or social circle who secretly has a small crush on you. And for others, I feel that you might meet them through networking or mutual connections, like a friend introducing you to someone they trust. I see number 10 here, so this could mean that you may meet them within 10 days, 10 weeks, or 10 months from now. Number 10 can also point to important timing around October. So October might be significant for meeting them or deepening the relationship. You could marry in October, or January appears as a possible time frame for some of you. Of course, timing is flexible, but the number 10 is definitely an important energetic marker here. And I feel that this person values happiness more than money, guys. Of course, money is important. They still work and take their responsibilities seriously, but they don't measure life purely by financial success or status. In fact, they believe that money cannot buy true happiness. So they might prefer spending time traveling, enjoying nature, enjoying life to the fullest, or sharing simple moments with loved ones, friends, rather than constantly chasing status or material things, because they really enjoy living a meaningful life, one where they feel emotionally fulfilled. And because of this, I feel that it's possible that you meet them when you are also simply enjoying life, not actively searching for love or become desperate for love, okay? Maybe you focusing on your personal happiness, your hobbies, your career, or spending time with friends, and then you unexpectedly cross paths with this person. And another message coming through relates to children here. For some of you, I strongly see the energy of a son, a boy here, because I'm being shown a young boy around like 2 or 3 years old, like running around happily with a soccer ball. So this suggests that you and this person may have at least one son together in this lifetime, or a strong connection with a boy child, a boy with a baby boy, or one of you already have children. For some of you, this child could already exist or could happen in the future. And one of the most beautiful things about this person is their healing presence, guys. So when you talk to them, you will naturally feel calm. Being around them feels peaceful, almost like taking a deep breath of fresh air after a stressful day. So they have the ability to make people feel safe and understood. So one of the signs you recognize them, or that it is the right person for you, is that when you meet them, you won't feel chaos or confusion. Instead, you feel a sense of peace, okay? So conversation might flow easily. You feel comfortable sharing things about your life, and they will listen with genuine care. They are also very trustworthy. And if you share a secret with them, they keep it, okay? They respect privacy deeply. So the last message is that some of you will meet this person after a major transformation in your life, a period where you grow, heal, or move on from past experiences. And because of this, you and this person may share similar life lessons. Perhaps both of you experience heartbreak or emotional challenges before fighting each other. And I feel that when you come together, you will help each other heal and grow. And your relationship will bring peace, comfort, and happiness into both of your lives. So being with them will feel natural, guys. Like every day is calm, warm, and full of quiet joy. Almost like a gentle breeze of fresh air entering your life again. So this is your reading, group 3. So now let's get your zodiac signs. So they could be a Pisces, Cancer, Aries, Libra, Taurus, Sagittarius, Scorpio, or Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. So that's all I have for you. If the reading resonated with you, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more readings. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hi group 4, if you chose blue color, then let's find out who your spouse is. So before we get into the reading, I just finished laying out your spread. So the first thing that stands out here is independence. So this person feels like someone who's comfortable being on their own, okay? So your spouse likes to do things their own way and doesn't really rely heavily on other people. They value their freedom and personal space. And I feel that they quite independent. This doesn't mean that they're lonely or isolated. It just simply means that they're someone who has learned how to be self-sufficient. So you may notice that they might enjoy going on solo trips or spending a weekend exploring new places by themselves or working on their own personal projects without needing constant company before you meet them. And another thing is that this person takes a very good care of themselves. So they pay attention to their health, their appearance, or the way they present themselves to the world. And I feel that many of them are image conscious, okay? So when you meet them, you might immediately notice that they dress well or have a strong sense of style, like a particular perfume on them, okay? For example, if this person is female, she might enjoy wearing makeup or putting effort into their hair, looks before going out. And if this person is male, he might be someone who stays in shape, dresses neatly, and takes pride in looking well put together, you know. Either way, this is someone who naturally attracts attention and people notice them. And because of that, it's possible that many people are interested in them romantically. So they may have several people who are attracted to them or trying to pursue them. However, I feel that this person is very selective, guys. They're quite sensitive and picky about who they want to be with. They may have the ability to get along with people from all walks of life. For example, they could easily have conversation with different types of people, but that doesn't mean everyone becomes a close friend or partner. They just really value quality connection, you know. In fact, this person has a bit of a lone wolf energy here. Like they really enjoy solitude and spending time alone. They might only have a small group of close friends, but those friendships are deep and meaningful. If they call someone a friend, it's someone they truly trust, okay? And this person has a strong personal standards. They have high standards, guys. They're very thoughtful and careful about the people they allow into their life. And when choosing friends, partners, or even business connections, they even questions themselves and think whether they share the same similar values or they bring peace into their life, you know. And because of this, they don't rush into any relationship easily, actually, because they really prefer freedom and independence, guys. They love to travel and explore new environments. They might enjoy visiting nature, mountains, beaches, or quiet spiritual places. They prefer peaceful environments rather than very chaotic or noisy ones. So they might prefer spending a weekend in a quiet coastal town instead of partying in a crowded city club, you know, because busy city energy can sometimes feel overwhelming to them. And I feel that even though they love peace and harmony, they can be a little defensive at times. This usually comes from protecting themselves emotionally. So they may have experienced situations in the past where they had to rely on themselves. So they developed strong boundaries with certain people. But when they want something in their life, they actually go after it, okay? They're not afraid to pursue their goals. For example, if they want to start a new career or learn a new skill, they won't wait for someone else to make it happen or validate them. Instead, they take action themselves. And I feel that even if they settle down with a partner or start a family, I see them maintaining their own career or personal path because they actually want to have something for themselves. They're not the type of person who wants to depend entirely on a partner for everything, because they want to have something for themselves in case something bad happens, So they want to keep their own identity and independence within the relationship. And this is actually a healthy dynamic because it creates balance, guys. So they will bring their own passion, ambition, and sense of purpose into the relationship, okay? And I feel that this person is quite thoughtful and careful and reflective as well. They may come across as someone who has a lot of wisdom. Like when they speak, they don't just talk randomly, they think carefully about what they say. And so you might notice that during conversations, they share insights or stories that resonate deeply with you. They might tell you about a life experience that suddenly makes you look at something differently. Or you might think to yourself, oh wow, this person really understands life on a deeper level, They could also be a natural storyteller. So when they talk about their experiences like travel, work, relationship, or personal growth, it might feel engaging and meaningful. Another thing about them is that when they focus on something they care about, their concentration is very strong, 100%. If they're working on a project, studying something they love, or developing their career, they give it their full attention. Sometimes they forget to eat or drink, okay? However, you need to know that their emotions can fluctuate. Their mood can go up and down depending on what's happening in their life. So if things are going well in their career, personal growth, or relationship, they might feel incredibly happy and energized. They might appear confident, bubbly, optimistic, and excited about life. But if something feels missing, perhaps they feel stuck or disconnected from their purpose or their work, they may become quieter or more withdrawn for a while, This doesn't mean that they're unstable. It simply means that they're emotionally aware and sensitive to their environment. So I feel that when the two of you first start getting to know each other, the connection could feel very intense, guys. So in the early stages of the relationship, I see a lot of communication back and forth. So you might spend long hours talking on the phone or messaging each other late at night. Or the conversations could flow naturally and easily. You might feel like you can talk about anything, like your dreams, fears, spiritual beliefs, or future plans, And this person is passionate when they truly like someone. But you need to know one thing about them, that they need emotional engagement. What I mean by that is that if they feel ignored or like their efforts are not being reciprocated, they may slowly lose interest over time, okay? If they feel that they always the one initiating conversations or planning time together, they might start wondering, if the other person is truly invested or interested, So if you feel this connection developing, it's important to show your interest and effort as well, okay? They seem deeply connected to their inner world and higher self as well, guys. So many of them could be interested in spiritual practices like meditation, yoga, energy work, or spirituality. So they might enjoy spending time reflecting, journaling, or practicing mindfulness. And some of them may even have strong intuitive or psychic abilities here. They could be naturally sensitive to energy and emotions around them. They might walk into a room and immediately feel the mood of the environment, or they may have very accurate gut instincts about people or situations, guys. I also get the sense that this person is spiritually protected or guided, okay? So no matter what difficult situation they get, it often feels like something or someone higher power steps in to help them at the last minute, okay? So you might notice that their life has a pattern of unexpected protection or lucky timing. Emotionally, this person is quite sensitive, so they pay attention to words and energy. So when someone says something to them, either positive or negative, they tend to take it seriously, guys, and reflect on it deeply, okay? They can also be somewhat quiet around people they're not interested in. So if they feel no connection, they may keep conversation short and polite, okay? But if they truly like someone, the opposite happens. They become very talkative. They could talk for hours about ideas, dreams, random thoughts, or life experiences. So one way you know that they're interested in you is that they want to keep the conversation going. They ask questions, share stories, and genuinely enjoy spending time talking with you. But if they suddenly disappear or stop communicating, it may simply mean that they've lost interest or moved on emotionally, okay? I feel that this person needs mental and emotional stimulation in the relationship. They enjoy deep conversation, intellectual conversation, share passion and meaningful experiences together. So now I see number 7 and 12. So some of you may meet this person within 7 weeks, 7 months, or 12 months from now, or you could meet them in July or in December. Or you may see entry number 777 or 1212, before you meet this person. These could be signs that love is approaching soon, okay? The last message is that this person may come from a different background than you. They could be from a different culture, country, or lifestyle than what you're used to. It's possible that after meeting them, you may travel a lot together or even live abroad at some point, okay? So your connection might also be around shared interest in spirituality, personal growth, meditation, or deeper life philosophies. So guys, this connection feels meaningful, transformative, and spiritual aligned. So that's all I have for you. Now let's get your zodiac sign. So they could be Aquarius, Sagittarius, Cancer, Leo, Aries, Pisces, or Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. So that's all I have for you. If the reading resonated with you, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more readings. Thanks for watching. Bye.